Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Craig, this is for you since Dean said I couldn't ask him any questions. What has your first taste of the NBA been like? Training camp, the first couple of preseason games.
I feel like a lot of it's just been a lot. I would say not necessarily difficulty, but guarding the guys we got on this team, guarding them every day in practice is definitely shown me what the NBA is about. So really, I feel like that's my welcome moment. Just because we got those guys that are talented and they can do everything. So I feel like that's mine.
You spent summer league with Emoni. What was your first impression of him when you got around him, and how, if at all, has that evolved since being with him in training camp in the preseason?
Me and him being brought into here at the same time, it's a blessing, obviously. But, my first kind of thoughts on him was just seeing his work ethic. And, everybody knows his story, and just seeing the things he's had to work through in the past few years or so, and just seeing the impact he's had, just doing everything he can to just get back to where he wants to be. And it's just tremendous to see that from him, and him being that young, too, just adds that much to it.
Yeah. Evan Dammer, right down with Dean. First off, am I allowed to ask you a question?
What's that?
Am I allowed to ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. Well, thank you. Within this new offensive system the team is running, how do you see your role changing compared to last year? Just because you are a big that provides three-point shooting, so you can do the screening, you can provide the shooting. Do you see just a little bit of everything out there for you?
I think just the way we're playing this year, just we're getting out in transition, we're trying to play faster. We got so many weapons on the offensive end. My job really is just to play defense as hard as I can and then just give those guys space. Donovan, DG, those guys, when they have open space, any space on the court, man, no one in the NBA can guard them. So my job is, man, good spacing, and then if they call me into a screen, slips, goes, whatever I got to do, and then when I'm open, obviously I have to shoot it. So my job really hasn't changed much from last year, just more of an emphasis on better spacing and, timely cuts, stuff like that.
JB actually mentioned to us that some of the guys that have been here for a while, you included, might be a little surprised by some of the more spacing you guys have this year. Do you think that's true? It's a little bit more spaced out compared to years past?
Yeah. It's just even when we practice and we scrimmage, it's tough being in that help side on the backside because you got two shooters behind you that you have to close out full speed to. So that always being in the back of your mind, you got to shift over, and then obviously the lane's open. So this year's definitely the floor feels so much bigger. You feel like you got to cover so much more space this year than previous years. So I think the roster we have this year is just, opened up so much more space on the court.
Chris. Craig, for you again, being a young player, what's it like to have somebody like Darius for you to learn from?
It's a little weirder because we're the same age. But,
Yeah.
But he's got that experience. He's been doing this since he was 19. So really, he just got that knowledge and everything I want to learn, and just everything I would want to know ahead. Because he's been put in almost every situation you could, even though he's his fifth year. So he when he first was brought in, he was on a team where he had to come in and lead right away. So really just trying to pick his brain and just see a lot of the different things he just sees in the game that I may not see, or just any different little pointers he can help me. And he's been great. He's been in my ear, whether I feel like I'm doing everything right or whatever, and it's just been a big help for me.
What stands out to you about his leadership?
Just his willingness to want to help and be better, not just for himself. He might be feeling like, oh, this is a good practice, this is whatever while we're in practice, and then, there'll be times where he might talk to us and just try to lift us up, get us going harder, just doing anything like that, and that just shows, he wants to be better and wants better things to happen, so.
What expectations do you have, Craig, for your rookie year?
Just really contribute any way it is, whether it be a minute a game, 30 seconds, just make winning plays. I've always been a role player my whole career, so I kind of understand what it takes, and really winning's the big thing in my mind, so whatever it takes for me to win is what I'm going to do.
Spencer Davies, Cavs Insider. Craig, you're going to try to dunk on somebody every time you hit the floor.
Yeah, he is.
Literally. I'm going to try to. They just see me, and then they don't realize that sneaky athleticism's there, so it definitely catches people off guard. But
okay. And I wanted to ask you, because I saw this in Summer League too, but when you got the ball in your hands, it just seems like you're so under control. What would you credit that poise to a little bit, especially now that you're playing at this next level?
Just realizing, the game's going to be fast. There's times where it's fast. There's times when it's slow. Just really staying at my own pace over the years has helped me just really be able to make plays, and it kind of confuses a lot of people because it looks like I'm going really slow. And then when you're guarding it, I might change speeds and just get out of places in quick bursts, and it's just a difficult thing to guard, so I've tried to mimic that into my game over the few years.
Anything else in the room? Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.